Hey everybody, welcome back to ogresspeedshop. And of course we got the shop duck down here. Can't say his name on videos anymore because apparently it's offensive. But anyways, so we're gonna start on another thing on the truck. Start getting this torn apart to replace the quarter panel or the fender on it. So I got that one over there, and that one needs some work too. So we'll probably do some of that work off the truck. But I'm gonna get into taking the front end off of this, at least for this side, which means removing the hood, removing the grill, which unfortunately this is actually part of the grill. This piece here, it's riveted to it. I think we can get that piece separate. You can see how it's got chewed up too. And the bumper's dinged in pretty good, but the rest of the grill is pretty good, other than like this area right here's got a little ding in it. And I think there's another spot over here. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I already got the headlight trim off of it. But yeah, this is what we're gonna do for this video. We're gonna start tearing it apart and getting this fender out so we can get a better fender on there after we work it a little bit. So let's get into it. So I thought maybe there would be some way of fixing this fender, but you can see like how half of it's like missing right here. There's a whole bunch of it gone, and just that's smashed in pretty good. You can see how deep that is right there. It's pushed back and it's actually rubbing on the door. So that whole thing has been shoved back pretty good. If you look right here, you see how that's bent like up? So that's supposed to be, well, let's just show you on this side. See how that's supposed to go at an angle this way? You know, like up this way and up, where this side is actually going down. So that's pretty smashed in there. So we gotta get the bumper off, and we'll do that here and start it off with, get the bumper off. Then we can see what else we need to get out. I think also once we have the bumper off, we're gonna try to straighten it. And yeah, we got a 20-ton press over there that might be able to do some work on that. Either that, or maybe I should pull the truck in here and hook it up to the bumper and, you know, use a ratchet strap or a chain hoist and try to pull that out a little bit before I take it off the truck. I don't know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and get this bumper off of here. All right, we got the bumper off, and I had 4 of the bolts out already. That's why it didn't take very long. But now you get a better view of that damage right there. You see how that goes down in. So that's been pushed up really bad. So definitely worth replacing, and that's what we're gonna do. Get that thing off of there, get that one prepped and ready to go on there. Do some body work on that as well, and just get this thing off. Well, we gotta get the hood off next. So, cause we can't get, well, I guess we can go for the grill, get it out first. So we might do that too, or first, I don't know. So I think I might be just a little bit crazy trying to do this by myself, but I'm gonna try to get this hood off by myself, which is gonna be fun. So let's try it out. That was actually a little easier than I expected it to be. It's not as long like this way as like the Firebird hood. It probably weighs about the same amount. It's really not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be. So it wasn't too bad. And so now we got it off of there, we get the hinge off of there, and we start working on the rest of this front end to remove the fender. Yep. All right, to get this fender off, there's a few bolts that hold the skirt on. They go around the edge here. There's like 2 or 3, 2 up in here. So there's one there and one there. So that'll take care of what's attaching it to the skirt, the inner fender, whatever you want to call it. And then the front, there's a couple bolts right there. I think there's another bolt down below. Couple bolts maybe, at least one I can feel down there. But we'll get into that as we go. So let's get some of these out. Well, I don't understand it. I can't understand how 50-plus-year-old bolts don't want to come out. So yes, I had to cut all the ones all the way around here. And looks like I got another one down here. It's got to be cut because it's spinning on the outside. Let's hope these ones come out. And yes, I did soak them down, but you know, what can you expect sometimes? But yep, that's where we're at. All right, between cutting them and just busting them loose, I think we've got all the bolts out now, so this should come off. I'll be curious to see what all we find inside the fender when we get it off. Oh yeah. Oh, is that down there? Trying to hide a key. We'll find out together. Something in the corner of that fender. I kind of want to see what it is. It didn't come out. I think it is a hide key. There's a bunch of brackets and stuff like that. It's got a magnet on it. Oh my God, it is. It's a freaking hide key. Check that thing out. Now will it open? No, might have to peel it open. See what we got in here. Yeah, it's just so rusted out, but there is definitely a key in there. Look at that. Full set of keys. That's pretty cool. Yep, automotive archaeology, you gotta love it. So it's a little unfortunate that this is so crunched up here, because if you take a look at it, there's no rust on the inside of it. This is a pretty solid piece. I don't know if they make pieces where I can just replace that corner or not and have a spare or not, but the one thing is we gotta get the badge off. So we need the 3/8 for the little nuts. So let's get that off. All right, we got the emblem off. Got the clips for the light off too, even though one of them broke and the other one flew across the shop somewhere. But I'll find that eventually. But you can find those pretty much in any store, so not too worried about those. I need to take that rubber piece off, but yeah, this is just gonna go outside, and you know, because look how dinged up that is. That's supposed to be like that angle right there, not straight across like that. So I got dinged pretty good, and that'll smash an area. But I'm just gonna put it outside, and if we need it, we need it. So just judging by this one, yeah, it's not smashed, but it's got more rust. Most of it's surface rust by the looks of it, maybe a little thicker here. Some dings in it need to be fixed and hammered out. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's one of those trim piece hangers. I just realized that this doesn't have... All right, we're gonna need some of the pieces from the other one, because look at that. That whole corner is missing. So that piece is actually good. The bottom half of that on this one, so yeah, we're gonna need part of that down there. Great, missing that whole pocket down there that, you know, where we found the hide key and everything. So the rest of this doesn't look too bad. Definitely dinged up a little bit, but yeah, we got some hammering and dulling to do on it, and then we got to repair that piece. So we're gonna have to cut some of that other piece, that other fender off to replace that pocket down there, because that's rusted out and gone. So on this side, I noticed on the other side there was a cut right there. And it looks like they were getting ready to cut out a patch piece, and they filled the holes for the badge. So you see right here, that's gonna need some fixing. Maybe we'll take that off the other one too, because I think that's pretty good on that area. Yeah, the wheel well, the Yeah, the wheel opening is much better on this one. So we might be doing some cutting, using pieces of this to add to that and go from there. But yeah, definitely going to use some of this to fix this other one. So this has good parts that we need, like this area. It's all smashed in on the other one. Still got to do some damage on that too, or repairs on it as well. But other than that, so we got a good ring, wheel well ring here that we can use on the other one. So, and then this pocket down here. Yeah, got to piece and part together some of the parts, so it'll be good. So I guess I'm bringing that back in. All right, so the supervisor, the shop supervisor, has made a decision that we're not gonna change the entire fender. What we're gonna do is use this fender from basically here back, because this one is in a lot worse shape. This one's in actually really good shape. So we're gonna have to be taking pieces off of this and putting them on here. Mainly this piece right here, around here, and even up into here. So basically this whole front section, even though, god dang, that's even worse. I don't know. But everything on here is better than what's on there. It's got a little twist to it right here, but so does that. So, but we gotta fix this. We're gonna fix this with this instead of just replacing the whole thing, because this one from about here back is better than that one. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna utilize this one with pieces from this to fix it. All right, so right here it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that this is dinged in from the outside. So we bring that back in, down, and you can see there's Bondo on that side of it too. But I think kind of from this area right here, forward and down into here, we're gonna try to keep this section here because that's all not on another piece. So, but yeah, I don't know. We gotta kind of figure it out as we go here. You can see where they tried to fix it with something, some filler or something, but yeah, it's gonna be some fun times. We'll do some cutting and grinding and welding on this one. The unfortunate thing is these have damage similar in similar areas. Like this area right here is kind of damaged in the same way over here, but I think we can just hammer this out from the inside and get that looking a little better, because they obviously fixed this on the truck and just filled with Bondo. But this is just so smashed. But we might be able to use from like here down and just replace the section up here that's not smashed. So this area right here, just kind of go from here up, and this area, replace all that. I don't know, we gotta figure it all out though, because that's not usable. We can start by cutting that out, honestly. I'll leave the light in for now. And we can cut all that garbage out of there. That's all smashed back into. All right, so I went ahead and cut this bad section out. There's still some more there. I'm gonna peel that back and try to straighten out this bracing. And you can see the piece I cut out over here. When I did that, it actually sprung back a little bit. So I think if I straighten up this framing here, this reinforcement, especially like right here, if I push this down, bring this out and that down, it's gonna bring this back to where it's supposed to be. And it'll be a lot easier to get the new pieces on without, losing the good pieces. So I'm gonna start by trying to get these spot welded areas off of there so I can get this area flattened down. And the same with this area over here. Get this broken bolt out of there. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some hammering and dolling now. Try to bring this area in so we can get that piece cut to fit on here. I'll tell you what, the deeper I get into this, the better I'm feeling about it. because this is still pretty solid underneath there. Just needs to be bent back a few places, you know, straightened out, and that should be good on that. This needs to come this way a little bit, but other than that, you know, because if I bring this, if this goes down, this is going to bring this down to where it's supposed to be. And yeah, so overall this section here is pretty straight, just right here and right here. And bringing this down is going to bring all this in and down as well. So far we're looking pretty dang good. Do a little repair down here in the corner. And it's not rusted out though, that's the thing. I don't want to replace stuff that's not rusted. But the smash stuff, you ain't got much choice in that. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, I'll flip it over here in a minute and show you the other things. I got to still continue around here to about this area right here to replace that whole section. All right, so I got most of that section off. Most of the metal looks really good in here. I'll clean it up, of course. But gotta bend this down. I think it needs to be 90 degrees right here, basically. So we'll fix that too, fix this little area right here. But we got most of the bad area out. Next thing I'm gonna do is this section right here is, it looks flat, but if you look on the back side, there's about a ½ an inch of dent and filler back there. So I'm gonna clean this all out, see how bad it is, because the section on this is actually good. So this area right here is the way it's supposed to be. So that section I might be using that section as well. I don't know yet. Probably, because this one's pretty mangled on that area. But I'm just cleaning out the Bondo and see. Yeah, that looks a little different than it did before. Before that was flat, sort of. And now look at it. That's what they did to fill it. And you look at this one, this is the way it's supposed to look. At least somewhat like that. So this one's definitely, so this is a better section on this one, but you know, up here it's not. So I'll probably be sectioning this section out right here. Cutting and using this section right here to repair that area right there, because that's quite a bit of difference. Yep. And you know, all that Bondo is on my pants now. It's a little loud right now. I got the heater going, but I got this completely cut to where I want it. So as I was saying, so I got this cut out to where I want it. I kept this piece down here, just I still need to do some body work on it, or some hammer and dolly, but that piece is better than what's on the new Fender, or the donor Fender. So I gotta do some dent repair here, but overall this piece is a lot better than what we had over here. So now we just gotta get the pieces that we need off of that and weld it to this, so we can have a nice new newish Fender. But everything else in this is really good. A little dent back here, but we can pound that out. Gotta work the metal a little bit right here. But other than that, the lip and everything was real nice. So I'm gonna try to keep as much of it as I can. A lot of times if you're doing rust repair, you can usually take the old pieces and lay it on the new piece and, you know, get what you need. This thing is so smashed up and so bad that, you know, you see how the angles of that are completely different. And so I can get a rough estimate of where I need to cut. And I'm just going to cut big. So I'm going to go way low. And the only place that really matters is, let me flip this thing over. So what I'm going to do is cut everything big as far as the patch piece goes. But I'm going to utilize the area of where it rolls around and actually attaches to the back side or the inside of the fender. So this, all this area right here, I'm going to pop or drill out the spot welds and separate it so it's nice and neat, and I can just put that up against there, put it on the new one, or the old, you know, put it on that one, and then get my lines. So, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be better when we get, so you can kind of get the idea of how much bigger I'm actually going in order to fit it. So I'm just going to basically cut that right down like that, and across here, just leaving at least an inch of extra room. And then the hardest part's going to be getting it to peel off the framework and underneath. But it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. But let's get to cutting. So that's my final cut lines, even though, you know, you can see how much bigger area I'm cutting out. And it's because I'd rather have more than enough material than not enough. So I'm trying to reduce the amount of welds because these are all going to be butt welds. And I just want them to be as clean as possible. This isn't going to be a perfect repair because you can see how this is dinged up around this area too. So it's going to take some body work, some metal work, some hammering and dollying, try to get this all straightened out. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of filler in it, but I'm trying to reduce the amount that I can as much as I can by doing it this way. Basically, I'm trying to avoid filling a void that big with Bondo because that's supposed to be flat across there, and you see they had that filled completely with Bondo. All right, so I got her cut down to a slightly more manageable piece now. Now what I need to do is separate this framing from the sheet metal by getting rid of these spot welds here. And if we get that out of there, then we can slide it onto that and then trim it to where it needs to be. Okay, so we got all the spot welds drilled out. I just use a step bit because then it gives me the area to, you know, weld to. So otherwise I have to be welding up underneath or get a spot weld machine, and I don't have one. So this will work fine. I'll straighten all these holes out. But for the most part, they popped out pretty easily. Some of them had to drill a little deeper to get them to separate. But overall, it came out pretty dang nice. So that old brace came out. Good to go on that. The upper brace came out. So we're good to go on that. So now we can go set this up on the other one and then trim it to fit what I've already cut. Been working on the fender this morning and got it pretty close to where it needs to be. Still some trim on the bottom to do, some tweaking on the actual fender too, but it's getting closer. And yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have a complete fender that's not smashed in. All right, so I got my final cut marks now. I should size this up and make it fit onto the fender. So, gonna get the cut. Got it pretty well fitted up. The only problem I've run into is this area right here. Like if I bring it in to where it, you know, that lines up, it's way off. Like I can't bring it up into it. It's hard to explain, but if I push this up to where it hits the frame, then it bulges out too much here. But up here, everything is good. And if I bring it around, it brings it into place. So I think what I'm gonna do is just trim this, because I also took one of those contour gauges and checked, and this area right here is the same as what it is on that side of the truck, but this is not. So I'm gonna make this fit this basically. So make this fit this. I know I'm a little close to it right now, but other than that, we got pretty good fitment in most places. We got to do some trimming up here, and other than that, we're looking pretty good. This has got to come in a little bit, but yeah, we're getting close to having a non-crushed fender. All right, so I think it's going to be the final fitment for this piece. I'm going to have to make a new piece here. I'll get the shrinker stretcher out and start making that. And like I said, the only spot that isn't really lining up too well is right here. So I'm just gonna pie cut it and pinch it up and close up that gap. So yeah, I think we're gonna be good. Definitely a lot better than it was. I figured I'd better try it on the truck before I finish welding it, but it looks pretty good. Doesn't have the trim on it, but it seems to be lining up the way it should. So I think we'll be good, just like that. And we'll have to find a new trim piece like this. Other than that, I think we're gonna be good. It'll be a much better looking fender, that's for sure. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'll check the lines a little bit more, but I think we're gonna be good. Well, it's time to make these pieces one. So let's get into welding. All right, so we got it all started. Got a few tacks in places, like where it actually lines up. A few places that need to do some hammer and dolly on to flatten out, because there's a little ding here, and this needs to go down a little bit here. Some rough areas right here from the new piece. And one thing's for sure, the original fender is a lot thicker and better than whatever this thing is. So I don't know if this came from another truck, from an original, or if it's a replacement. But that metal is a lot thinner because it's burning. It likes to pop through even on a lower setting. So yeah, just gonna take my time and go through it, and I'll be back when it's done. All right, so we got most of it welded. This area right here, I gotta do some hammer and dolly on first before I weld it, because it needs to be straightened out. We got most of it done. This area right here, I think this is twisted down a little bit, so I need to straighten that, bring this up and bring this down before I weld that. And I'm going to replace this section from like here over and down with, I don't know, I'll find a piece that fits from this to make that that arch right there and fill it in, because this piece that I kept there is actually pretty messed up. So I'm gonna replace that, at least from, like, I don't know, from this point over. Oh, we'll see. So I got most of this welded on. This right here has just become a patchwork, freaking, you know, whatever you want to call it. But it was pretty messed up. Like, you can see this like different angles on here. Well, this is all flat and 90 degrees up, and just, it was way out of whack. So just started piecing pieces together. I took it off of the other fender just because it's got the same arch in it to fill those areas. And so yeah, now I just gotta finish filling areas to make it work. So that's what I'm doing, and once that's done, I'm calling it, other than I'm gonna pound these dents out that were filled completely with Bondo in these areas. So do a little hammer and dolly on those, so there'll be less Bondo, but there's still gonna be filler. I mean, none of this is gonna be straight without doing that. So, but that's where we're at. All right, so I got most of it welded, and the areas where you can still see the weld is actual like low spots where it was already dinged. I mean, you can see these dents right here, and these ones here, and this one over here. I wasn't even working in these areas, and this is where, you know, some of the stuff I need to hammer and dolly still. But I put some self-etching primer on it just to give me a better idea of where the low spots are at, because you can see the light right there. You can see there's a low spot there, there. So this is dinged. This fender's dinged up. I mean, it's a 54-year-old truck that was, I'm pretty sure, used as, you know, like a government vehicle, like a forestry service truck. And so it's got some dings in it. And this whole section right here is new. Well, not new, it's another used fender, but still. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it as a way of, so I can sand it and find the lower spots and start hammering and dollying it out to try to smooth it out as much as possible. So it reduces the amount of filler I'll be using as far as like filling in the cracks when I do the body work on it. But I kind of think the self-etching primer kind of matches the theme of the truck a little bit. It's nice like OD green style paint. So, you know, for what I don't, you know, to help blend it to where it matches the rest of the truck when I go back to painting it, it'll probably turn out pretty good with using that as one of the colors. But definitely need silver, a darker green, like a forest green. But I'm gonna try to make it look like it did before it came off. So even this side here, you can see that they painted silver in places, but this is light green. There's dark green underneath it. You know, the dark green truck is what it was originally. This whole side here is more silver. So yeah, it's definitely a unique looking truck. And I kind of like it. I like the way it looks. So I don't know what I'll do with it later. I actually thought about doing a depiction of what my dad's 68 was. Kind of a red and brown, I think it was. I have to look at the picture again, but you know, my buddy Brian even mentioned you should paint your truck like that. So, you know, in memory of my dad, his first truck. But I don't know, we'll see. It's one of those things that I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. And but I like the way it looks. I'm not even in the green, but I like the way this thing looks as it is. So I could drive it like this and not give a care in the world about the way it looks, because I like the way it looks. So just one of those things, you know. Yeah, it's a preference or not a preference or whatever you want to call it. I just like the way it looks, and I'm not going to change much on it, at least not initially. And but yeah, I'm just going to find the low spots, try to reduce the amount of filler I have to use for body work, and yeah, start doing some hammer and dolly next. All right, so I've got some of this hammered out now, so it's more raised than it is below, so that way I should be able to sand it off easier and be able to work the high spots better than the low spots. This big dent right here, I got that out pretty good. The way I did it, and I was using a crowbar like this, putting it in the area that I want to and hitting it up in here because there's a frame up in there. Let me just turn it around and show you. So the first thing I was doing is I got support over here so it kind of flattens it, like with the parallel to the table. I had this piece of steel I was just throwing in. This is kind of an area where it allows it to hit, but you know, it's not going to be flat, but it would still be better than what it was. And the way I was doing it is taking the crowbar, allowing me to go up inside this brace here and just smacking it down like this. Just kind of working it to flatten it out. So I took that dent that was, you know, I'd say 3/16 to 3/8 of an inch deep, and now it's a little bit above the original level, so it's working. And like I said, I'd rather have a little bit high spots to work those down rather than trying to work the low spots back out like on the truck, because yeah, it's definitely getting better. A couple areas still need to be kind of flattened out a little bit or brought out, but that's what I'm doing, is I'm just using a crowbar or to get up inside there to get to those spots, because there's another spot over here I'll do the same thing with. But yeah, I just want to show you where I was at with that and how I was doing it. All right, so I pretty much got this good enough to where I can go in and start doing like body work, filler or whatnot, if I so choose. A couple spots still I need to work on. I didn't see these before, but this is all part of that new piece of the fender over there. So just gotta ding those out a little bit just to bring them up above the level. And then once it's on the truck, I'll start sanding it and getting a paint scheme going on it. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I think we're gonna ding those out a little bit and then throw it back on the truck so we can start the actual body work on it. You saw the damage that was done to this fender originally, and how this was pushed up, and this is like, you know, kinked up like 90 degrees this way. Well, something I also noticed, and I took a measurement just to see. I know you can't really tell in the picture, but this side of the core support is pushed back about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to try to release it from the frame and see if I can't move it forward 1/2 inch by taking a measurement from this point out to this point on both sides. This is 1/2 inch back. And when I put the fender on test fitting it the other day, it was still rubbing against the door. So I think if I push that forward, it's going to give me the clearance I need for the door, plus align it better. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I listened to core support mount, but didn't really do anything. Doesn't really allow it to move. So what I did is just kind of pulled on it really hard, and I got it to bend back to where it's supposed to be at on this top piece. So should give us the room we need for the fender to fit. I don't know about down here if it's bent or not, but looks like a little tweak right there. But that's easy enough to fix. That's just a quick little bend. But other than that, we're back to 52 and 52. So 52 inches to here and there from the same point on the cab. So it's closer than it was, should be better. We got the fender to the point where I'm happy with it for now until we get down to the meat and potatoes of actually doing the body work on it. And these holes right here need to be filled at some point, but you know, I want to weld those shut and grind them down because I don't want to, you know, Bondo sticking through like they were originally. And that's brought out a lot more. There's still a lot more to do on it. There's a lot of body work, a lot of sanding, a lot of, you know, it's not ready for paint by any means, but it's still a truck and I'm fine with it the way it is right now. And that etching primer, the green etching primer, actually blends pretty well with the rest of the truck. Not too bad. So I can actually live with it just being like that for now until we figure out a paint scheme for it. But yeah, that should do it for the fender. At least it's not all gone and smashed in here and smashed in here anymore. And it looks a lot better than it did before. So that's going to do it for this fender, at least for now, until we get, you know, deeper into it. That'll do it for this video on repairing the fender, the driver's side fender on the 1970 GMC 2500. So we replaced that front end of it. It's still a lot more body work to do, you know, obviously, but at least it's a lot better than it was. There's not a big hole there. It's not all smashed in, and it looks, you know, I'll give it 50 times better than it did before. So twice as good. I don't know. Like I said, there's still a lot more to do on it, but it's a lot better than it was. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do, better, and subscribe while you're at it. And let me know about, check out my shorts, and not my shorts that I'm wearing because I'm not wearing shorts, but my shorts on YouTube. I did a video about paint scheme for this, so let me know what you think of that. So as always, I appreciate y'all watching, especially if you made it this far. I'm very thankful that you actually like to watch my videos. If you're subscribed and enjoying them, I appreciate that. So until next time, I will see y'all later.